Hello everybody and welcome. Following along with our clips, and what I was talking about, if you remember the other day I said what we're going to do is we're going to do something on the kiln, and we've done a couple of more clips on the kiln of course, and then I promised you I was going to do something on making a seal. So I've got everything ready here. Let's have a look at what's involved in making a simple pottery seal. I'll just turn that fan off so we don't get any background noise, although it's kind of hot in here, but the reason I'm in here is that we don't have the sound of the river, but if we have the sound of the fan we haven't gained anything, so I'll turn that off just for a second. I'll sweat it out. Yeah, it's about it's 80 degrees in here, it's warm enough. Anyway, yeah, join me. I'm just going to see if we can do this and make a good clip of this. So basically I'm going to sit down here in front of you. Ooh, this looks like the battery's looking a bit sad. Yes, it is. I wonder, maybe we'll do this in two parts in case the battery does die on us. Alright, so what I'm wanting to do is make a small pottery seal that I could use to impress on the bottom of my pots. I've got a variety here of different sized lumps of clay that I propose to try to carve a seal out of. Before I do that, let's just talk about this just very briefly. I've just here on the blackboard, I hope you can make it out. Basically, in trying to design a seal that you can use on your pots, think of your initials. In my case, my name is actually Simon Andrew Leach, but I don't use the A, just use simply my surname initial, which is an L with an S. Now my dad's, his was an L with a D. So there is a I just felt it was like a logical progression. My dad's is an L with a D, so mine is an L with an S. Try to use the letters of your name in a sort of be a little bit creative with it. I actually like a signature where you can identify. I'm just talking personally, but where you can identify the name of the person by the initials. If you just put like a bunny rabbit on the bottom of your pot and say, well, that's my seal as a bunny rabbit, well, okay, that's fine for those people who know that Joe Blogs always uses a bunny rabbit, but that isn't necessarily helpful, you know, in trying to identify your work. This is just what I'm thinking. I'm rambling on here, but I just made up a few here. Like I thought, well, some guy called Andrew Johnson. Maybe there's an Andrew Johnson out there, and I thought, well, a seal for Andrew Johnson. So take a letter A like that, drop this part of the A down, and make a J out of it. You see, Michael Cardew, potter, English potter, an old student of my grandfather's. My first student, his first student I should say, is a C with an M inside it. Some letters you see lend themselves nicely to making a seal of in that way. Now my elder brother Johnny, he is John Henry Leach, so his seal is like a J and then an L, but with an H in between, you see, like that. Of course, that's all very well. If you just carve it like that though, and then you go to impress it on your pot, of course it's going to come out the reverse way. So that's the trick. So when we're actually carving a seal, what we need to do is carve it. We have to actually carve the mirror image onto the seal. So the LS you see there turns into that. So I have to do it like backwards, like this, you see, and the AJ, Andrew Johnson, will then become like that. Michael Cardew, of course, it's round the other way, and the JHL is the J and the H the J and the L are reversed. The H doesn't change. So I just wanted to share that with you, that to be aware. Number one, to be creative, use your initials and do some doodles on a bit of paper first. Okay, so let's wipe this away. Experiment with your initials, and you could say if your name was Dorothy Preston, for example, you could just make like that, DP. Well, of course it'll be around the other way, won't it? It'll be DP like that. And that's easy to read. But maybe you would like to perhaps be a bit more adventurous and do a D with a P inside it like that, you see. So then that would be, I put the round bit around it like that because that's the seal. Now even that doesn't have to be round, you see. You don't have to have it round, do you? You could have it slightly squared like that. And that one I showed you, remember before, of my brother Johnny's, was like a sort of like a shield, wasn't it, like that, with the J, H, L in it like that. So is our battery still going? Oh yes, it is. Good show. I think the battery's going to conk out in a minute. If it does, I'll just carry on, okay? And we'll go on. I'll just do the continuation of this clip part 2. What we have to, another thing we have to bear in mind when we're cutting a seal is, let's imagine, let's take this seal. I'm going to carve this one for you because it's a big piece of clay and you'll see better. But just take, for example, the flatness of the seal. Let's draw that. Imagine that's like a line like that. Okay, that's the flatness of the seal there, across there. So when you carve, what I do is, the first thing I do is I mark on here with a pencil carefully, in reverse, mind, as I said, I will carve, mark in pencil like that, centralize it well and just lightly mark it in pencil. Okay, so you do that with your pencil like this. Okay, pencil. And after you've marked it, what you're going to have to do is you're then going to have to carve it out with a needle. And you can use a needle like this. You can use your cut-off needle, but it needs to be very sharp. You're better off actually using like a knitting needle, not a knitting needle, a sewing needle. Okay. So then what you want to do is, after you've marked it in pencil over the surface of the seal, you're then going to use your needle and you're going to cut a line down like that, just a vertical line, you see. All right, just cut a line down like that. Scratch it out with this, following your pencil trace marks. When you've done that all the way around, what you've got to do then is you've got to take this needle and hold it at 45 degrees. Okay, I'm holding the needle there so you can see like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to move it over at 45 degrees like that and knock that corner off there. All right, so it's no longer going to look like that, it's going to look like that. And the same on the other side. We're just going to, so you basically cut the shape of each letter is cut in the shape of a V like that. Okay, that allows then the soft clay, imagine this is a soft lump of clay, or the bottom of a pot, say, it allows that clay to infill into that V slot. And when you pull the pot away, or when you pull the lump of clay away, the clay isn't going to stay stuck in the slot, but it's going to pull out, and that's going to leave the fresh imprint of your initials on the bottom of the pot or in the clay. Okay, so you must cut a V slot there, and that allows the clay then to come out. All right, I hope that makes sense. Let's see if we're still going. My goodness, we are. More life in the battery than I thought. Okay, so that's basically the seal. So just to recap, be creative with your initials, and then remember to carve the seal in reverse. Now let's just say something about the clay that you use. Don't use any clay, and you don't have to use clay, you can use plaster of Paris, but if you are using clay, make sure it doesn't have any grog in it or grits or sand. It's smooth, okay? Because you'll find if you've got grits in it, it's murder to carve, and bits of grits will come out and spoil your design. So make sure it's got no grog, the clay. Alright? Alright. Well, we'll come back and do these, and you can watch me. Simon Leach saying, keep practicing. See you soon.